Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Douglas County Board of Commissioners voting session. Today is Tuesday, April 11th, 2023. We ask right now that everyone would please stand as Pastor Corey Condry brings our invocation. After that, we will say the pledge.
Good morning. Father, we thank you for today. We thank you for what you're doing in our county. Our county's blessed. We declare it, we decree it, we speak it. And on this day, God, bless our commissioners. Bless everybody, God, in leadership. You're our Father. You know the beginning from the end. And we thank you for what you're doing. For you said in your word that all things work together for the good. And so we thank you for it now. We call this meeting blessed. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Pastor Condry. At this time, we will call the meeting to order and ensure that we have a quorum. District 2 Commissioner Kelly Robinson.
Present, Madam Vice Chair.
District 4 Commissioner Mark Alcaraz.
Present.
And I'm your Vice Chair and District 3 Commissioner. We do have a quorum to conduct business. At this time, we are open for public comment. Clerk Watson, do we have anyone?
Yes, ma'am. We had one citizen sign in, Ms. Sharon Bachtel. And just as a reminder, you'll have 3 minutes to address the board. Once you hear the buzzer, if you could wrap up your sentence that you're on, and remember to state your name and your subject matter.
Hi, Sharon Bachtel, 6331 South Skyline Drive, and thank you for allowing me to speak. I would like to talk about the Vice Chair resolution. I was surprised to hear Attorney Coleman suggest that the Vice Chair policy should be changed. I always assumed that the Vice Chair had the same duties as the Chair in the absence of the Chair. I was concerned when someone suggested using the word "or" instead of "in the absence of the Chair." I agree with the resolution as it appears on the agenda. If you had changed the wording to "or" instead of "in the absence of the Chair," it would have changed the position of Vice Chair to a co-chair, which I think would violate state law. The Vice Chair should be able to perform needed county duties until the Chair position is filled or replaced. My concern is that one district is not represented at this time. I think changing policy is an important legislation. The citizens of District 1 are being left out of this decision. Any changes should be tabled until there is full representation from all districts. And then I have a letter from Kathy Beffridge, who could not be here today, I would like to read, about Punkintown Park. I wanted to clarify a couple of things that were mentioned in yesterday's meeting regarding Punkintown Nature Preserve. Mr. Duke stated the parking area plan was to be gravel. That's only partially true, and that the plan includes concrete parking for handicapped persons. This is once again against the deed restrictions. In addition, Mr. Dukes, while discussing the bridge, he stated the bridge would allow folks to get to the remaining 65 acres of the property. The remaining acreage is 78 acres. I'm not certain if this was simply ignorance on his part, which is cause for concern, or he was attempting to make the public think that only 3 out of 20 acres have been cleared, when in fact 3 out of 7 acres were cleared. Again, against the deed restrictions. I am asking you to vote no on the change order to spend an additional $44,000 plus at this time on Punkintown Nature Preserve. I don't believe any of the out-of-the-box solutions have ever even been considered for the future of this nature preserve. The county has already destroyed a much larger portion of the nature preserve than what was in the deed restrictions and spent an exorbitant amount of tax dollars in making the park some other than the original intent. Surely there are changes that will protect the nature preserve going forward without spending, and more spending. The county stated in their Parks and Rec meeting that they have no idea of the amount of money that will be needed to bring in dirt and the expense of doing so. I'm fairly certain an estimate of that could be derived to determine if the existing plans are cost effective. Should we spend this amount of money and destruction of the land against the deed restrictions on a nature preserve when our sheriff's department is short 50 plus officers? And that was from Kathy Beveridge. Thank you.
Thank you. Clerk Watson, anyone else?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. At this time, we will have a presentation from Wendy Cottle regarding Customer Service Award. Ms. Cottle.
Good morning, Board. Good morning, staff, and good morning to the citizens of Douglas County. Douglas County has always been committed to providing our citizens with the best. We are constantly striving to improve the services we offer and our service delivery. With that in mind, last year we launched our Customer Service Initiative. This initiative focuses on building stronger relationships with our citizens. In November, the first group of staff were recognized for going above and beyond to provide superior customer service. Today, we are honoring 2 more staff for their commitment and excellence in customer service, Mrs. Tremina O'Connor from the Solicitor's Office and Mr. Alan Mashburn from Facilities. We have a very brief video showcasing their customer service skills in action. So if communications would go ahead and roll that.
I've been married a long time, and my wife knew pretty much when we got married that, you know, family comes first, but let me tell you, work is right up there with it. And I've always been the one to leave at night, leave on the weekends to go do things, and she's just put up with it because that's what it takes to satisfy the customer, and that was my goal then, and that's still my goal now. Satisfaction. Kind of interact with my customer. I mean, if something's wrong at somebody's desk, I don't just go in there and just, you know, give the attitude, move out of my way and let it. I'm trying to do one-on-one with that person so that I can get my job done without interfering with their job as much, because they can't work with me in there, but I can't do it with them in there. So we have to work together, you know. I was a contractor, self-owned business for 28 years, and that was my biggest thing was my employees go out, make them happy to where I don't get a call. If I don't get a call, then they did a good job. So far, I ain't got a whole lot of callbacks. So all in the end, my thing is to make sure that they're happy with it. We deliver.
I love serving the citizens of Douglas County. I love working for Solicitor General Sonia Compton. This office is amazing, and my coworkers. I love serving the citizens, and we deliver. That's what we do here in Douglas County. This is our front desk and our command central, and so I receive all incoming calls, route them appropriately, as well as prepare documentation for to be passed out to the solicitors, and take incoming clients in to get whatever they need. I think that good customer service is the basic foundation to everything that we do. Douglas County Solicitor's Office, Mrs. O'Connor speaking. How may I help you? We deliver.
So I think you can see from the videos why they were excellent candidates to receive this, to be recognized for their customer service. So now would Mrs. O'Connor and Mr. Mashburn come up so you may receive your award? would you like them to stay for the photograph?
Yes, we will come down and have a photo with you. Board of Commissioners.
Chair. Yeah, we can get some on the other side. All right, everybody squeeze. Oh, good. Yeah, come on out the side. Balance this thing out. Need some more down here. Yeah. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Do one more. 1, 2, 3. Here we go now.
These are the reason I got this. These people right here.
Take my Allen. 1, 2, 3. Take one more. 1, 2, and 3. Great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
I will say teamwork makes the dream work. So you saw that was a team effort. Those individuals are more than appreciated for all the hard work that they do here at Douglas County. So congratulations to them again. Moving on to our next item are the approval of the minutes. Board of Commissioners, I hope that you had a chance to look at the meeting minutes of March 21st, 2023, the work session meeting minutes of March 20th, 2023, and the executive session meeting minutes of March 20th, 2023, and March 21st of 2023. Are there any additions or updates to those meeting minutes? If not, can we adopt those meeting minutes by mutual consent?
Yes.
If so, those meeting minutes stand approved as presented. At this time, we will hear from Ms. Katrina Hartley regarding the proclamation proclaiming April 9th through the 15th, 2023 as National Telecommunicators Week here in Douglas County. Ms. Hartley.
Good morning, Madam Vice Chair, Board of Commissioners, and citizens of Douglas County. First, a disclaimer. I assure you that the 911 services in Douglas County are continuing.
Thank you.
I was wondering about that.
We are appropriately staffed. This morning, we represent the thin gold line. And you don't often hear about the thin gold line in public safety. We are the golden glue that holds public safety together. I have with me today our Deputy Director, our Operations Coordinator, our staff, and Ms. Deborah Gross, one of our oldest employees as far as tenure, because she is very young in spirit. 40 years in emergency services. And then we also invited with us to stand with us our Sheriff Dispatch as well from the Douglas County Sheriff's Office as we celebrate National Telecommunicators Week. The proclamation reads, whereas emergencies can occur at any time that require law enforcement, fire, or emergency medical services, and whereas when an emergency occurs, the prompt response of law enforcement officers, firefighters, paramedics, and emergency medical technicians is critical to the protection of life and preservation of property. And whereas the safety of our law enforcement officers, firefighters, paramedics, and emergency medical technicians is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained from citizens who telephone or text Douglas County E911 Center. And whereas public safety telecommunicators are the first and most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services. Whereas public safety telecommunicators are the single vital link for our emergency responders by monitoring their activities by radio, providing them information, and ensuring their safety. And whereas public safety telecommunicators of Douglas County E911 Center have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients. And whereas each dispatcher and call taker has exhibited compassion, understanding, and professionalism during the performance of their job in the past year, therefore be it resolved that the Douglas County Board of Commissioners of Douglas County, Georgia declares the week of April 9th through April 15th, 2023 as Public Safety Telecommunicators Week in Douglas County, Georgia, in honor of the 911 professionals whose diligence and professionalism keep our county and our citizens safe.
Thank you for that. I will ask that everybody in this courtroom, I almost said classroom, courtroom, please give our E911 professionals a round of applause. Board of Commissioners, you have heard the proclamation. Is there a motion to accept this proclamation as read?
Madam Vice Chair, I'd like to make a motion to accept this proclamation as read.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Well, I will discuss it. I absolutely appreciate each and every one of you. Being an E911 operator is a difficult job. You must keep your composure at all times. You are the first line of defense because you are the first ones we know to call, whether it's an emergency or not, and you have to dispatch it to the correct place. Thank you for what you do. I pray for your peace because I know you hear a lot of things that we can only imagine, but yet you show up every day. You are committed to giving Douglas County the best quality of service and ensuring that those who need help get it in a timely manner. So thank you so much. So I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Please vote accordingly.
Vice Chair, motion carries unanimous.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. We will come down and accept a photo with you if you don't mind.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take my side photo. Three, two, one. 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
We'd like to get some. One more, please. Thank you very much.
Board of Commissioners, our next agenda item is a public hearing. Approval of a new on-premises beer, wine, and liquor alcohol license be granted for Twisted Taco at 376 Maxim Road, Austell, Georgia, 30168. Manager Duncan, you have the floor.
Good morning, and thank you. This, as you said, is an approval for an application for a new license to sell beer, wine, and liquor. This is on-premise sales. The applicant is Tara Carter. The restaurant is Twisted Taco Bar, LLC. This is located at 376 Maxim Road in Austell, Georgia. The applicant does meet all of the ordinance requirements. It has been advertised appropriately. Ms. Carter is here to answer any questions that you may have, and staff is recommending approval of the request for this license.
Thank you. At this time, I will open the public hearing for all of those who are in favor of this application. Would you please approach the podium? You have exactly 2 minutes. State your name and address for the record. Is there anyone here, including the applicant, in favor of this license? You may approach the podium. Good morning. Please state your name and address for the record.
Carter, and the address of the Twisted Taco Bar is 376 Maxim Road. It's in Austell, Georgia.
You may proceed.
Okay. I am here to ask for permission to serve beer, wine, and liquor at the Twisted Taco Bar. It's a small taco bar. It will be a family restaurant. It's been a passion of my family for a long time. So this morning I just come to ask if we can make drinks at the Twisted Taco Bar.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here to speak in favor of this applicant or application? Being none, I now close the public hearing in favor of this application, and I open the public hearing for those in opposition to this application. If there's anyone here wishing to speak in opposition, please approach the podium, state your name and address for the record, and you have 2 minutes to state your case. Seeing no one move, the public hearing in opposition is now closed. Board of Commissioners, you have heard the applicant and you have heard the presentation from Manager Duncan. Are there any questions? Being none, I asked for a motion to approve or deny this application.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Please cast your vote accordingly. We have a 3-0 unanimous vote, and the motion carries. Congratulations, Ms. Carter. We wish you well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Next Board of Commissioners is new business. Tab number 6, reappointment of Frank Payne, Brandon Penniman, Alvin Robert Thomas, and Teresa Knowles to the Planning and Zoning Board effective May 31st, 2023. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? I have a motion and a second. Please vote accordingly. The motion passes 3-0 unanimously. Our next agenda item is tab number 7, appointment of Charles Wynn to the Cemetery Preservation Committee effective immediately. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Motion and a second. I ask that you please cast your vote accordingly. The motion carries unanimously. We will go on to tab number 8, authorization for the chairman or vice chairman to execute an employment agreement with Suleiman Rana as Managing Director of Transportation Services with no impact to the budget pending final legal review. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? I have a motion and a second. Please cast your vote accordingly. The motion carries unanimously. Tab number 9, approval of a resolution confirming the authority of the vice chair in absence of the chair and for other purposes pending final legal review. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Yes, Madam Vice Chair.
Commissioner Alcaraz, you have the floor.
Just got quite a few, received quite a few phone calls from citizens, so I just want Attorney Coleman, is he down there?
Yes, I'm
Just
here.
to- Just to please clarify, you and I spoke about this earlier, but would you please, for the citizen, just clarify just the change, the only change that's being made?
Sure, I'm
This
happy to
resolution.
do that. This resolution was one that I prepared on my own volition, as provided in the code. No one asked me to do it. There's no hidden agenda. There's no political power grab involved. It is simply a resolution to make sure that the business of the county can be conducted. I'll be a little bit more specific and detailed about my concerns. My concerns that prompted me to recommend this resolution. In late '21, the county adopted a policy regarding the vice chairman and the selection of the vice chairman and the duties of the vice chairman. It basically states that that the vice chair should preside over meetings when the chair is absent, authorized to sign duly adopted ordinances and resolutions which are adopted at meetings presided over by the vice chair and which the chair refuses to sign. Those are the powers that were granted to the vice chair in the absence of the chair. There are other responsibilities that the chair has that are essential in order for the government to function. The primary one being the execution of contracts, applications, grants, things like that, that must happen. There will be contracts that will need to be signed today or tomorrow, and if we don't do those, people can't go and do work and provide services that they're supposed to provide. The change I made was to add that the vice chair is authorized to sign, in the absence of the chair, all contracts, agreements, applications, and other documents upon which the signature of the chair would be required, and that the documents signed by the vice chair in those circumstances will be binding on the county. And that's important so that people will know that if the vice chair signed them, then they've got binding agreements. It also provides that the vice chair should have the duty to assume all other duties and responsibilities of the chair and to coordinate with the chief administrative officer to make sure that day-to-day functions of the government are proceeding properly. Again, those are essential duties of the chair that weren't covered in the previous vice chair resolution. I also added language to make it clear that the duties only apply in the absence of the chair. There was a change I made that these responsibilities and duties only apply in the absence of the chair. And the absence of the chair is defined to include a vacancy in the office of the chair, the physical absence of the chair when there's no vacancy in the office, and the inability of the chair to discharge the duties of the office for any reason. It clearly states that the duties and responsibilities of the vice chair, in the, quote, in the absence of the chair, end quote, should have no force and effect when any vacancy of the chair, of the office of the chair is filled, and or when the chair is physically present and able to discharge the duties of the chair. The suggestion to say, or the vice chair, is not in the resolution. It was on the minutes, or actually in the agenda where it authorizes the chair to sign documents that are approved. I recommended added or vice chair. So if the chair is absent, the vice chair could sign them, but it's not a part of the resolution. And I know it's a logical assumption to assume that the vice chair would have those duties, but as a lawyer, I shouldn't operate on assumptions. If I can make it clear and have the law say that the vice chair would have those duties, I think that's the appropriate thing to do. So that is the reason that I recommend the resolution to you. I stand by that recommendation. I think it's important in order for us to move forward and continue to provide services in the absence of the chair, however long that lasts. And once the vacancy is filled, those duties and responsibilities will automatically, by the wording of the resolution, expire. I don't know if you have any questions about any of that, but I'm happy to respond further.
No, sir. No, I appreciate the clarity of that. I yield back, Vice Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Commissioner Robinson, you have.
Give me a minute. I'll do my best. I save my energy for this. I'm a little under the weather. Again, I just want to piggyback on, again, the symbolism of the vice chair, prior to this administration taking over, which just that was symbolic, right? All the power rested with the chair, right? So you had this title. So I think David Latham had it from District 4 first, and Mike Mulcair took over, etc. It was always something that was, obviously, it was the chair that got to pick the vice chair when they came in. Now, this administration, in its own desire, decided to like, well, we want to break it up like other counties do. So 2021, like he said, the board did a debate. They went round and round. They chose to pick the vice chair amongst themselves and rotate every 2 years. Shared authority, no concentration, decentralization. That's what I started. This is pre our county attorney. In other words, like, okay, let's break this up. No dictators. I'm going to spread it out. Now, I had no problem, at that time. I mean, obviously, y'all know I'm in my last term, and so I thought it was a good time to get up. There was no combination of three to make that change. It was split down the middle. Should we actually do this, or do we leave the power with the chair to pick the vice chair? We chose to do it differently. All right, but to do things like that, you have to have what? You got to codify it. Now, we did the best we could. We were in transition of legal, and we did the best we could. This is when all the committees got formalized. We had to mature our charter back to maturity, back to make sure you got proper legal presentation with you. Yeah, we did that last time by ourselves. Hey, we're not attorneys. We're legislators. But again, we now have someone in here to get in here, like, now tighten up our charter. It should be clear. Right? Yeah, we get Robert's Rules of Order. We get default. But make your charter clear. Every county, every local municipality can do things differently. They're not all the same. In Douglas, we've now clarified, well, this is what our vice chair is allowed to do. Vice chair across the river is different. So we need to be clear. And so I appreciate the work that was done on this to bring clarity. Again, we need to update. Have y'all ever looked at our charter? It's so antiquated. It's like, geez. That's why we've got the new law firm in here to try to help us sort of mature some of these things that are relevant. Now, this is something that was always tackled before today's time, so anything beyond that, to his point, wasn't relevant. We were already in play. It was always a forethought that, hey, well, let's make sure we got this in place. Succession, just like our country, you want to make sure you have a proper succession in place in case. Right? So that was us waking up, maturing as leaders. Let's tackle some of these things. And so that's what this was about. Again, my hand was all over this, and I yielded it. This is what gets us to this day, and I think this is a proper course of action. Just to clarify what our charter, our roles are, you need to know what they are. I mean, what do I sign off on? Before you get into these conversations internally about, do you have the authority to sign off on that? Do you have the authority to move this? Do you have the authority to do that? You don't know what we have to go through on the inside. This clarifies. So there's no question. When decisions are made, who has the power and who doesn't. So, and that's important, though, so that you don't get into a power struggle. You know, because that vice chairman, when I did that last year, I said, now, y'all know, if we do this thing got teeth. That vice chairman got some real authority. It wasn't symbolic no more. But I'm like, okay, this is what y'all want to do. But that thing got teeth. And in the wrong hands, wrong movement, you can have coups, you can have struggles between the chair and the vice chair with that. So it needs to be done delicately. It needs to have some safeguards with it, right? It needs to be handled maturely, etc. So I want to acknowledge that. There's always the moral side to stuff, you know, that moral hazard to doing things like, okay, now what could happen? We have to have those type of conversations, and it has to be mature. So with that being said, I just want to clarify, weigh in. My voice is going, so my vice chair, I yield. Thank you.
Thank you. So I have a motion and a second on the floor. Please prepare your vote accordingly. And the motion passes unanimously. Now on to our consent agenda. Sherry?
Number 10, approval of Violence Against Women Act grant in the amount of $66,667 with a local match of $16,667 to be funded through the in-kind and department's current budget for an existing domestic violence investigator position with Douglas County District Attorney's Office, and authorize the chairman or vice chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Number 11, approval of the annual voucher transportation program grant with ARC in the amount of $245,820 with a local match of $49,164 to be funded through the department's existing budget, amend the budget if necessary, and authorize the chairman or vice chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Number 12, Authorize the chairman or vice chairman to sign a name change on a car allowance agreement for Nellie Duntang in the amount of $4,800, which is $184.62 per pay period, pending final legal review. Number 13, authorization to approve Integrated Construction and Nobility, Inc.'s change order number 2 in the amount of $44,445.51 to excavate rock from the area of the pedestrian bridge abutments at Huntingtown Nature Preserve to be funded through the general fund as recommended by the Parks and Rec Oversight Committee, and authorize the chairman or vice chairman to sign all related documents. Number 14, approval of employment contract between the Superior Court Accountability Courts and Joseph Bridgers for a case management service in the amount of $50,000 per year with full county benefits to be funded by the Bureau of Justice Adult Drug Court Enhancement Grant, and authorize the chairman or vice chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review.
Thank you. Board of Commissioners, you have heard our consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion in regards to any items? Being none, I ask that you cast your vote accordingly. The consent agenda passes unanimously. At this time, we will have our announcements via Ms. Wendy Cottle. Ms. Cottle, you have the floor.
Thank you, Vice Chair. District 2 Commissioner Kelly Robinson will host his town hall meeting this Thursday, April 13th, from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Lithia Springs Senior Center, located at 7301 Groover Lake Road in Lithia Springs. Douglas County will introduce its draft land use concepts for the comprehensive plan update through a series of open house events in March and April. The public is invited to view the project on the Douglas County Happenings website. The Planning Department will be available to engage with the community during open house hours every Friday afternoon between March 17th and April 28th, 2023. The Planning Department will also be on hand to share information at many other events, including district town halls and public meetings. A complete list is available on the project website. All drafts of the land use concepts are generally online, and feedback can be provided through the website at celebratedouglascounty.com/727/comprehensive-plan-update. Douglas County Senior Services, Douglas County Parks and Recreation, and Douglasville Parks and Recreation will host a senior prom on Wednesday, May 24th, 2023, from 6 to 9 p.m. at the Douglasville Conference Center, located at 6700 Church Street. You must be 55 and older to attend, and registration is required. For registration information, please visit celebratedouglascounty.com or call 770-920-7575. Douglas County invites stakeholders who live or work in the community to join the conversation on the future of transit by participating in the upcoming Transit Master Plan surveys available at connectdouglas.com/DouglasCountyTMP. The Douglas County Transit Master Plan will balance the technical analysis with a robust public engagement process. The Constituent Services Department is hosting a celebration of youth leadership this Thursday, April 13th, from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Douglasville Conference Center. The event will feature a roundtable discussion, networking opportunities, and a chance to meet leaders in Douglas County and a chance to learn how to get involved in your community. The event is free and open to all high school students. For questions, please contact Leland Alexander at lalexander@douglascountyga.gov. The Douglas County Masterclass Series on Financial Literacy and Entrepreneurship will be held on April 20th, 2023 at 11 a.m. at the Douglas County Library located at 6810 Selman Drive, with Kim Holder, the director of the University of West Georgia's Center for Economic Education and Financial Literacy and senior lecturer of economics at the University of West Georgia's Richards College of Business. The probate office will be open on the following Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. for all probate services, July 8th, 2023, and October 7th, 2023. And this concludes our announcements.
Thank you, Ms. Cottle.
Thank you.
Board of Commissioners, do you have any updates or comments at this time? Well, citizens, there are two very important, well, all of the announcements are important, but again, I just want to reiterate how important it is for you to come out to the Douglas County Comprehensive Plan update. This is the part where you, the citizens, get to really engage with us and tell us how you want to see your community, what you want to see in your community, and how you want it shaped for the next 10 years. So it's really important that you come out and share your thoughts with us. This is your time to shine. Let us know what you want to see in Douglas County. And then the second one is in regards to transportation. Please give us your input. It is so important. We want to know, where should Douglas County transportation be? How should it look? What should the future of the transportation look like here in Douglas County to meet all of the citizens and the business needs? So again, these two items are vitally important. I hope to see you all soon in the community. Thank you, staff, and to the Douglas County citizens for coming to this meeting. And at this time, the meeting is adjourned.